just a few moments, we will begin a race, but right off the bat, I just want to point out that you'll notice that the game is in Japanese. This is because there's less text to deal with in terms of the game. In the game, we'll be dealing with this computer navigator named Adam, which you'll see on pollsmor screen. As you can see, there's a lot of text to go through. So for that text box, it's basically describing that Adam wants you to investigate the quarantine bay because there was a big boom that happened, and he wants you to find out what caused that big boom. Alright, so some of the basic movements of the game, the players want to be running as much as possible. This is because this is the fastest, most consistent method of movement in the game. Very nice. Quarantine clear from monkey, or pollsmor. Oh, monkey got a good time too. Alright, so this text box over on pollsmor screen is basically Adam describing the X-parasites. That they kill and mimic their host after infection. And from what we see in game, that happens immediately. And that the Metroids were their prey, and since Samus is part Metroid, she can now absorb X-parasites for health and missiles. So we're just going to be making our way through to the next navigation room up ahead. So this Samba over here I like to call Horus. Just so I know which one hits me. Well, it looks like Horus doesn't give them any trouble. And over on pollsmor screen, Adam is basically telling Samus that missiles are ready for pickup and that she should use them. So one thing interesting is that for the Samus text dialogues, you holding down doesn't speed it up like how it does Adam's text box. So for spamming Adam's text box, you want to hold down and spam A, and then press down again once a new text box loads up. But for Samus, you just need to hold Samus's text dialogues. You just need to hold A to get through them. And both Pulse and Monkey can get a really good missile time. Alright, so Adam here is basically telling us that there is a minor blackout and that we need to find another way to the target. Maybe our missiles have something to do with it, wink wink? Alright, one thing I should have mentioned is that you'll notice that sometimes when the players land or turn, they'll shoot. That cancels the animation, which does save a few frames, and if you save enough frames, you save a few seconds. So yeah, doing that every now and again is a good idea. Alright, so this part. There's a specific mechanic for missiles called double missiles, where if you position them just right, they can hit the enemy on the same frame and deal twice as much damage as a normal missile. And pollsmor's thing is frozen for some reason. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so Arachnus. It takes 15 missiles to kill Arachnus in this first form, and 3 missiles to kill the Core X. And yeah, what you saw on pollsmor screen is what we don't want Arachnus to do, because that does waste a bit of time. Oh no. I remember how I said double missiles can go. Yeah, we won't do that for the Korax. Try and hit him with double missiles. Because that does save a little time. And the Zombos coming up, I call Henry and Lewis. Neither of them gave any trouble. Their positions are random, so you just have to adjust accordingly. Oh right, another mechanic for missiles. Normal missiles have an 8-frame cooldown, and there can only be 2 missiles on screen at a time. And as we get better upgrades for missiles, that cooldown increases a little bit. So double missiles will become progressively hard to do later on in the run. But for now, they're kind of ideal to do. So now that we have cleared the main deck, we are on our way to Sector 1. They are going to need as many missiles as possible, which is why they went for that, well, other than Hundo, that's why they would usually go for that missile right there. Ooh, spoopy. Yeah, that's something you can do at that particular cutscene, where you can leave the door open for the sacks, but the sacks will just still destroy the door anyways. I'm kind of sad that no one went for it. Alright, Monkey takes the lead, reaching the Sector 1 nav room first. Alright, so this text is basically telling Samus that there's a saboteur going on, he's gonna find out what it is, but right now you need to take care of 5 environmental stabilizers because the X are using them to reproduce. So this room causes no issue, but this room, you want to make sure that you have as much health as possible, preferably full health, because when Samus is at full health, then it's a guaranteed missile drop from enemies. But Monkey seems to have no issue with missiles. Having 20 missiles in that room is ideal. Alright, so this room, the pirates can be on either wall, but we usually just shoot 3 missiles here, because that's the most optimal for any scenarios that can happen. Sometimes there's no pirates can be on your side, which is a blessing, but we still shoot 3 missiles anyways, just in case one of them decides to jump. Because that can happen. Alright, so everyone here has a pretty good missile count. By the time you get past the second pirate room, which is just coming up... Oh no, Monkey. Oh, that was unfortunate. But as I was saying, the next room, you will have, yeah, at least 9 missiles. And Monkey gets a red X right off the bat. So yeah, Monkey is perfectly fine on missiles. So I believe it's about a 1 in 1,000 chance that a red X will spawn from an enemy like a space pirate. So yeah, that was really good luck. And this room right here is going to be the last time we see double missiles on eye doors, because we're going to get the charge beam after this. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention about eye doors. They can fire from 0 to 4 beams. 0 to 4 are less likely than 1 to 3. So we want to hope for the good RNG. And pollsmor gets Charge Beam. Monkey, though, slightly ahead on time. Monkey getting a full refill, just waiting for that door, which is a smart move. Want to get those guaranteed missile drops anyways. Especially in this sector. So you probably noticed that we're not going for certain items, even though this is called 100%. We'll come back for them during cleanup. So don't worry. Alright. Overall, pretty clean Sector 1 from all of them. So with Sector 1 done, now players are going to be moving on to Sector 2 to get the bombs. The item specifically telling us there's extra activity in Sector 2. And we're gonna go there. So this upcoming Samus dialogue is basically how the computer reminds her of Adam. And that there's something here that's figuring her out, I believe. I haven't played English in a while. And this is basically the revelation that the X-Heaven makes Samus' infected power suit at full power, so yeah, basically avoid that at all costs, but since this is Hundo, we're going to be doing that as little as possible, because it's faster. Alright, so Sector 2. You want to avoid those Zoros, because they do 45 damage per hit, and they're kind of annoying to deal with. Oh, that's unfortunate. So you want to clear those two Zoros and jump through the door so you land on that platform, and can perform those all jumps with no issue. Alright. Yep, they got through that, no problem. Alright, so coming up are the Morph Bombs. They take forever to detonate, so we're going to be placing them in a way that's ideal. So real quick, we're going to grab these missile over here. Just because it's right there. that Zoro can be in a horrible place, and it's a pain to deal with, so thankfully, it was somewhat good placement. Ideally, you would want him to be closer to the door, since you can deal with the two flies that are charging towards you, and then the Zoro later, with a good charge beam. Oh, that is unfortunate Zoro placement for pollsmor and Monkey. Alright, so we're gonna morph in this room so they can place a bomb, unmorph, and then shoot a missile at that fly that's coming, because that thing's gonna hit you no matter what if you don't do something. Ooh, that is good Zoro placement for pollsmor. Didn't make it. That's unfortunate. Alright, so they're gonna wanna wall jump on that wall, so they can hop over those little pancakes. They're gonna morph in that room because it fires the charge beam automatically and it keeps a consistent speed. Oh, pollsmor got it. There's a little space in between those ouchies. We call them ouchies. That the missile can just fly through and hit the door, as you just saw. Doesn't really save that much time, or hardly any time at all, but it's just cool to look at. Alright. Now that's out of the way, this is Zazabi. Zazabi does a random number of jumps up to a certain point. We want to hope that Zazabi gives us the low-end amount of jumps. Because you can guess, Zazabi jumping wastes time. Oh, that's unfortunate. Pollsmor. Oh no, Monkey. Alright, so this last phase of Zazabi, you want to shoot 2 missiles instead of 1. But sometimes your charge beam doesn't quite make it, so you gotta improvise. Pollsmor with a very nice Corax fight. Thankfully, getting that missile isn't really important. Alright, you're gonna notice that this room is a little different. Alright, so now's a good time to explain the Sax. So the Sax's Ice Beam deals about 200 damage per hit. And touching the Sax himself deals about 400 per hit. Since we're able to tank at least one Ice Beam and a Super Missile from the Sax, normally, as you would see Monkey do, we would just trigger the Sax chase and just run right through with our invincibility frames. Ooh, Monkey getting the flips. Very nice. Oh, not Monkey. Pollsmor. I am so sorry. I will leave the commentary right now. Alright, so this text box is basically telling us that opening the level 1 security hatches may have caused the X to invade Sector 4, so we're going to check that out. Now this Samus dialogue is just basically Samus telling us that she needs to stop the Sax. Now, the interesting thing about Sector 4 is that it goes left instead of right. But it's the only sector to do that. Alright, so this Atom text is just basically Atom telling us that it's intriguing how the X causes this much devastation so fast, and that we need to check on a key specimen that the Federation was studying because of abnormalities in its patterns. That would be Ceres. And Ceres' fight can be quite interesting, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So one thing you're going to be seeing in Sector 4 is what we call a jump extend. And R shooting, which you'll see Monkey doing right now. Or what you saw him doing. So I'll explain the R shooting first, since you just saw that. So R shooting is where you press the R button while flipping to maintain the flip. Normally, when you are flipping and shoot by pressing the B button, it will cause Samus to go into her default falling state, which stops the jump. R shooting will allow us to continue the flip, but interesting enough, for our jump extending, when we do shoot normally while flipping, and respin, which is basically pressing A while you're in your default falling animation, it'll extend the jump just by a little bit for those jumps that you just can't quite make on normal terms. You're going to be seeing that right here. Normally that jump you see on pollsmor side, compared to Monkey, normally that jump wouldn't make it on. But with that jump extend, if you do it just right, you can make it. Alright. Oh, pollsmor, that's unfortunate. Oh no, Monkey. Well, let's get the X got Ceres first. It's kind of hard to dodge those I-beams in water, so we just take it. We have a lot of health, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so the Ceres fights. One thing you'll notice is that we're going to be trying to shoot Ceres really, really close. This is because there are two sections to the charge beam. There's the normal beam itself, and then the flare. I believe the flare does an extra 6 damage, which allows us to kill Ceres in 2 rounds rather than the normal 4 or 5 rounds it would take with just the beam alone. A very clean Ceres fight from pollsmor. Let's see how Monkey does. He missed the first double. Alright, don't fall in the water for this fight. But Monkey does get the sweet spot. So killing the core X on a certain X and Y coordinate will allow it to just snap into place without having to wait for it to clear up so we can get it. I usually want to kill the core X in those positions, as it's just faster. So the next thing we need to do is to lower the water level so we can get out of Sector 4. The water is usually electrified, which deals damage the more you're in it. About 3 damage. Consistently. So we're going to lower the water level so we can use our speed boost to get out of here. Now normally, on any percent, we would just break those speed blocks and just charge through the door, but since there's a missile tank right under us, we're gonna get that instead. Also, we would normally try and perform low spark here, but since there's a missile tank right there, and it's in pollsmor? What you saw Monkey do there was what we would have done. Normally done. Hopefully pollsmor will remember that one when we clean up. Monkey tried to go for the crab spark. I respect the attempt. Alright, so Adam here is basically telling Samus that we need to head to Sector 3 to get your missiles buffed, as the X are starting to get stronger. Since we have the speed boost, what you saw Monkey doing, we're going to be storing a spark when we hit the nav panel, so we can charge out of the room and jump onto the elevator. This saves us quite a bit of time. Alright, so this is basically Adam telling us that the data room here is locked by level 2 security panels. We gotta find the data... not the data room. We gotta find the security room to unlock the data room so we can get super missiles. And the interesting thing about this sector is that there's gonna be no X-parasites until we clear the security room. So that spark right there, we usually shoot so we're able to trigger it, because you can't trigger a spark while flipping. As you can see, the X have now invaded Sector 3 and are rapidly making progress here. Thankfully, this section is pretty short. Our upcoming is the missile tank we call Bob. Bob is an unskippable missile tank that you just get, period. There is a way to skip him, but we don't usually do that unless we're doing 0%. Those side hoppers do a lot of damage. But since we're on Hundo, we have a lot of health, thankfully. Alright. So in this room, there is a frame-perfect trick where you can spark out of the room. But it's frame-perfect and pretty difficult to get. Yeah, pollsmor tried to go for it. Let's see if Monkey gets it. Oh no, trick. Oh, Monkey got this frame-perfect trick. So yeah, the trigger for Box's rumblings is about 1 pixel after the trigger for his fight. So ideally, we want to be away from that trigger. Just because it's still less distance to travel. Alright, so for this part of the fight, you want to shoot Fox because that'll trigger his jumping, because if you do miss that shot, Fox will just charge right through, which is a little slower. A very clean fight from pollsmor. And Monkey just as clean. Very nice. We want to store a spark there so we can break that bomb block. It's a little faster. Alright, now that we have the super missiles, Adam's going to tell us to go and get the Varia suit from Sector 6. Since that's right now, the best data room to go to. And since the only other data room is in Sector 5, in case the Sector 6 one is destroyed, spoilers, it will be. We're going to need to head to Sector 5 for data room grabs. But that's going to be only twice for the rest of the run. Oh, that's unfortunate. Pollsmor. Usually we would jump onto the elevators, but Pollsmor has a different strat. Alright, so this text box is Adam telling us that the X have frozen themselves over to free Samus on the inside, and these parasites are going to chase you. And they deal quite a bit of damage. So we're going to place a bomb there for later. That bomb block will stay broken, so there's really no need to just go past this room without doing it. Alright, the ice parasites do get stunned when you hit them with your beam. So it is good to do that. Alright, coming up is another Sax cutscene. And it does take a long time, so... Oh no, Pollsmor messed up the pattern. You have failed us all! And we're just gonna trigger the Sax chase here. It is faster. Don't worry if the Sax catches you up in that room. If you do manage to get into the little morph hole there, the Sax just basically runs around like an idiot. Definitely don't need to use our charge beam for eye doors anymore, since our super missiles can kill them in one hit. Alright, this is a Hypercore X. We're just gonna be basically shooting it with our charge beam. And then we're gonna be manipulating the Core X so we can get doubles on it. And Pollsmor gets a very clean fight. Very nice. And Monkey is actually just slightly ahead. So, this room that Pollsmor is in right now is super interesting because after a certain amount of ice parasites are taken, or when you leave that room, the AI of the parasites will change to run away from Samus instead of instead of chasing her. As you can see from there, the Vice Parasites are now running away from Samus. And Puffers. Puffers can be in a random placement, and they only move diagonally in 4 directions. They are quite a pain to deal with, especially when they are in bad placement. Not only that, but if you do damage them, especially with a pseudo screw attack, they will release puffs of poison, which will damage Samus, and delay your movement by a little bit. And pollsmor right there is preparing another bomb for later on. We'll come back to that during cleanup. So now that we have the Varia suit, we're going to be heading to Sector 5 in order to get the ice missiles. There's a lot of text here. Let's see if we can see who's ahead here. I think pollsmor has taken a slight lead. pollsmor went down 3707. Yeah, pollsmor has taken the lead. Alright. There are multiple ways to handle that block. You could speed hit. You could. I am losing my train of thought. You could spark the block and then shoot a missile, or you could do what pollsmor did. Now, Sector 5, you want to watch out for the waivers, because they can mess you up quite a bit. You want to shoot that crab right away on the ceiling, because if you just run straight into the room, its attack is just going to hit you. So you want to deal with that. Alright, so there are certain enemies where you don't need to shoot cancel because Samus just snaps onto them instantly. Which, again, saves frames, which, done properly, can save time. Alright, so the room coming up for pollsmor. He wants to get this done as quick as possible, because if he doesn't, as you can see, the crab placement will be less than ideal. And for this room, he wants to release the charge button as soon as he crosses that door, so he hits that switch, which allows him to speed boost out of the hallway. Alright, pollsmor now has ice missiles, and now he needs to make his way out of Sector 5. And that ice parasite just blocked the beam. That is unfortunate. Alright, so this room here acts as a bit of a puzzle. You wanna kill the crabs, but not absorb the parasites so it merges with that one tower over there. And you can make your way out with a speed boost. Interesting. Monkey is going for a missile here so it doesn't have to come back for it later. It really is hard to say who's in the lead now because they are so close. I guess cleanup will be the deciding factor of who's going to win the race. Alright, chat. You know what to do here. And for those who don't know, this is where you spam emergency and Frankerzy in the chat. Alright, so the main boiler is overheating, and if something isn't done about it soon, the station's gonna explode. We don't want that to happen because we're in it. Yeah, we don't want to step on that nav panel coming into Sector 3. Alright, so this path is a little similar to the way we came when we first came in, but instead of going up, we're going to be going down. And our ice missiles are going to be helping us through the area. There are multiple ways to freeze those wall boys, but there are riskier strats which I believe save a little bit more time. But on a side and personal note, I do not like those wall boys because they have homing projectiles and they deal a lot of damage. Alright, so Pole's got a 3-beam. We would have liked less. So what you see Pole's doing right there is proper Corex manipulation, so he can get the, not only get the doubles, but also the sweet spot. Ooh, very clean fall from Monkey. And now that pollsmor is cleared, Sector 3, he's gonna make his way out. Alright, once Monkey turns off the main boiler, the Frankerzys must stop, alas well. Oh, that is... As you saw when pollsmor was climbing up, that one wall boy shot him. If you're not quick enough, all of them will hit you. So you really want to get through that room as quick as possible. Or you could freeze them. That's a bit riskier of a strat. Let's see how monkey handles this room. Very nice. But he butchered the last shot. That's alright, that was a pretty clean room overall. So that text box on pollsmor's side is basically telling Samus that what? X-parasites can also steal memories from their hosts? We totally won't research this later. Oh, by the way, there's some life forms up on the main deck. You might want to check that out. Alright, we are now on the main deck. First thing we're gonna do is just speed boost right through this wall. And from here, it's just kind of a repetition of old strats. Then we make our way up here. Oh, pollsmor. See, that's what he was trying to do. You want a jumping stand there so you have enough leeway to grab that ledge without having to freeze that wall boy below him. And then you want to jump up. Okay, that was a little close to the wall. I was worried that wouldn't work. Oh, it looks like Monkey's going for more. Oh! Animals want some kind of pollsmor, unfortunately. Those animals can come out. They can take a few seconds or they can take 30 seconds. Which is not ideal. It all depends on their placement in the background. Oh, that's unfortunate. So that text box is just basically going about the animals, how she knew them in the past, and how they taught her some sweet tricks in Super Metroid. So canonically, we save the animals. Alright, so now we're heading back to Sector 5 to pick up power bombs. And it's going to be a pretty similar route to what we did last time, except we're just going to get into the data room, head down, and get out. But we're going to pick up the missile tank along the way. The most pointless text box in the game. Literally, all it says is, you've been here before, you know what to do. So, there's a bit of a different strat here. Since we have level 3 security unlocked, we can just zoom right past here and hop up here. You want to jump down though, because if you don't, you'll be hit by that crab's beam, and you will lose the spark, which you do not want. So now we have power bombs. Gonna pick up this E-tank. And then I believe pollsmor is going to be picking up that one missile tank that Monkey got. That is in this room. We're gonna kill it. Very nice. Gonna place a power bomb here to open this way. And once we get down the ramp, we're gonna place a power bomb so it blows up the path and triggers the Sack's chase. We want to make sure you have a good jump here. Oh, really not. We're gonna place a power bomb there, pick up that drop. Not that drop, that power up. Oh, monkey, that's unfortunate. Oh, monkey. Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go. Alright, this room. This room can be a little annoying to deal with because of ripper placement. And as you can see, you really have to wait for the whippers in the right spot, otherwise you're gonna fall through the crumble blocks. There are power box bombs under there, so we don't have to go the long way anymore. Alright, Adam's calling us back to Samus's ship, as he has a message for her. And this is where the game is going to take a bit of a turn. The straightforward paths that you are really given are going to kind of stop here. Alright, there's going to be a power bomb placed here. And then another one right there, so we can get this pickup. Now, normally in 90% for this room, we want to avoid getting hit by the spit. But if we lose our speed, it's not the end of the world, but it's still good to have it. Because once we get to this point, we want to pick up this missile tank. Now we want to, well, normally we want to jump there because it would immediately stop our movement, so the ship will be able to pick us up. And now we're tasked with trying to turn the power back on. because the main reactor is not working for some reason. And as you see why, there are a bunch of lines covering it. Now we want to try and avoid these space pirates. But that one in particular we do have to kill because there's really no good way to get around it. Now we want to avoid killing the space pirates here because they will just form into another one. But since our round hundo is a little different, we can just give it a little more leeway. Okay, it wasn't a 4-beam. Alright, so this is Yakuza. Right off the bat, we want to be shooting missiles upwards because his weak spot is exposed, but in order to actually hit it, we need to jump so the missiles don't despawn. Now you'll notice that he's going to be crawling along the walls here. He can do this 1 to 4 times. Ideally, we only want him to do it 1 time, but he's more likely to do it 3 or 4 times. So what we do to what we do to save time is we let him grab us, which cancels his movements and completes the cycle. And from here, it's just good Quark's manipulation, so we're able to get those doubles. And with that, we regain space jump. The only downside to this is we are not unable to wall jump. Probably because the developers thought it was pointless. But there's still a consistent time you need to get with space jump in order to properly use it. Now these key hunters, when they attack you with their stingers out, they can deal 128 damage, so in any percent you would want to avoid those as much as possible. And this room, the size could be anywhere. Sometimes he could even be directly under you and you just land on him and take 400 damage. Which is unfortunate, but thankfully that didn't happen to either Pulse or Monkey. But Monkey, there you go. You want to be careful in that room, not to take too long, because there is a key hunter there that will get you if you're not careful. Or fast enough. So coming up is the next boss, Nettery. And for those of you who are Toho fans, it's spelled N-E-T. Is it double T or 1T? I cannot remember now. I think it's double T. Now, Nettery can be damaged with power bombs, but since we have all these missiles, we may as well use them. Because it's a little faster to do it this way. Looks like Monkey has taken the lead back. But we'll see how things go once we hit cleanup, which is actually coming pretty shortly. Just a couple more sections to go through. Gonna spark up here. And then we're gonna grab this pickup. Looks like Pulse is going a different way. We'll take care of the key hunter so it doesn't bother us. Noni! Yeah, Adam is surprised that you recovered Plasma Beam, but tells you not to fight the sacks anyways. And the conversation is cut short because there's trouble in Sector 5 now. Yeah, we're gonna be going that way. Alright, so this text box is explaining that an experimental creature, Nightmare, is destroying the entire sector, and that we need to destroy it. So right off the bat, first thing we're going to be doing is trying to Shine Spark through this area. It's a straightforward path, and you'll see what happens. So yeah. Again, Monkey got a red parasite. This time you want to be careful. But looks like they're fine. So yeah, the X-Parasites can infect the Space Pirates, well, merge with the Space Pirates to give them aquatic properties. Which is kind of a pain because you're moving slow. So yeah, you want to make sure you kill them before they get you. Grab a few power-ups on the way before we head to Nightmare. Alright. So the next thing we're going to do is we're not going to use that pathway up above, but we're just going to grab the ledge to grab that E-Tank. Alright, so Nightmare. For Phase 1, you want to destroy the gravity manipulator under him. Now, when the gravity is affected by the manipulator, your missiles aren't really going to work that well, so you want to be using your plasma beam for this. But after that, his face will be exposed, and you just want to shoot it with missiles. You're not going to get a one cycle on him, so you just want to manipulate him so you can have an ideal shooting position, which unfortunately Pulse did not get, but still managed to get through just fine all the same. And Monkey with a very clean Nightmare fight. Very nice. So they want to open that door so they can get through. Because if you try running through with the door still closed, it's going to block you and interrupt your speed boost. So they open the door, run back, and then run through. Next thing they're going to need to do is gather some speed here, and with the gravity suit, they'll be able to do that. so they can spark up here and grab that power bomb. So now we're back in Sector 4. Thankfully, this is going to be the last major time we need to go through this sector, because during cleanup, we're going to have already gathered everything. So the next time we come through, it's just going to be a leisurely stroll to the next area. They're going to place a power bomb there so they can break those blocks, and then shoot the missile tank. Or the missile block. A power bomb is going to be placed there to break the blocks and beat the enemies so they can get through. No reason to place that power bomb, just because. Alright, good power bomb placement is important here, plus it allows us to break the blocks as soon as possible without issue. Now that we've done that, we can unlock level 4 security doors, even though we were not told to. So we can actually get out of Sector 4. Because unless you get that security room, you cannot get out of this area. We're gonna let them get those golden crabs, so we can unlock this door and get the next power up. We'll go through here, place a power bomb so we can break the blocks below, and grab this missile. Yeah, we're basically, as I said before, we're basically getting everything here as it is. Gonna freeze that boy so we can actually get through him. We're gonna store a spark there. So we can run up and then spark up so we can get this power bomb. Oh no. It doesn't look like Monkey got it. Alright, this data room is active and it gives us diffusion missiles. Basically, which makes doubles kind of impossible for certain bosses. Or a boss, really. It technically is possible to get doubles on the next Korax, but it's pretty much task only. As said before, cooldown for the missiles increases as you get better upgrades. But the fusion missiles spreads out the ice beam effect, so we're able to freeze enemies even though we don't need to shoot them. And yeah, pollsmor is going back for that one missile he did not get. Okay, he remembered. And that would put Monkey back in the lead. Alright, so some trouble has arose in Sector 6. Adam's telling us to go there. And he was also scolding us for activating the level 4 security and getting diffusion missiles. Alright, so Adam is telling us that the box, the spider robot we saw in Sector 3, is making havoc, is wreaking havoc in this area, and that we need to find him, but find him quickly, because apparently the Sax is tracking you. But we only see the Sax once in this sector, and that'll be after the boss fight, so you don't really need to worry. Go through this area to get that heat tank. We're gonna go through here instead of the way we went. There's a power bomb there. This area is a good refill if you're low on health. Alright. We're gonna store a spark, run back. And now we're gonna be finding the box. So we're gonna morph immediately. Oh, pollsmor didn't trigger it. Oh, that is unfortunate. So as you saw Monkey do, you're gonna place a power bomb immediately to get the ladder. So you're able to fight the box proper. So boop. Oh, we didn't place it. So with the box's open circuitry, it's causing the water to be electrified. And the box is going to jump high enough to the point where it can knock you off the ladder. Also shoots those missiles, which takes a few hits to get rid of. Oh, pollsmor, that was unfortunate. Alright, so Monkey is currently going to the restricted sector. He's going to trigger the Sax encounter. So the Sax is destroying this place, so the station is going to immediately release it. And cast it to self-destruct. And Adam is going to be scolding us for going to areas we shouldn't have been in. Alright, there's also about 10 sacks aboard the ship. So yay! That's fun. Of course, that factor doesn't really come into play in this game. And that Samus dialogue was just basically her reminiscing on Adam and how that was what he would have said. But now we're back in Sector 1. Good rip replacement for Monkey. Because you can just jump through a frozen enemy if your positioning is right. And the top ripper was just away from the ledge. Any day now. Was it like... Was that supposed to happen for the parasite? I've never seen it do that. There it goes. Honestly, it was pretty straightforward with pollsmor. I've never seen it do that before. Alright, so for the Golden Space Pirates, the game checks to see if you and the pirate are facing the same direction, as that'll determine that that pirate is able to be hit. Because normally if you face the pirate, you aren't able to hit it, and casually you're supposed to hit it from the backside. But all the game does is check to see if you're facing the same direction. And Monkey has reached Neo Ridley. So the one thing I didn't mention about the plasma beam is that it does damage per frame it's on the enemy, which is why you see us shooting it diagonally. That's how we're able to get the most hits on Ridley. Also, you might want to turn down your volumes for this. Very clean fight for a Monkey. And now Monkey has a screw attack. And with that, it begins his cleanup route. Alright, pretty nice for pollsmor, and thus he begins his cleanup route. So for cleanup, we're gonna be going through Sector 1 and picking up any items we didn't get. Ooh, very nice. pollsmor did not get a single ripper. And we don't need to deal with the golden pirates again, so we're just heading out. So we're gonna be heading back to the boss room to do this little speed boost trials that this place has. Let's see if one can get it. Nope. This one is a little difficult to do, especially from that distance. Oh no. There he goes. Alright, then he's gonna come back. And he's gonna go up to the Charge Core X boss room. So he can get another E-Tank. From there, we're just gonna basically get any items that we did not get on our usual route out. Well, not usual route. On a casual level, you will probably pick up these items. But in Hundo, we kind of just wait until cleaning up to do that. This room does have another way out, which will take us back to the kind of the main hub of Sector 1. This will allow us to head to that area up there, so we can pick up some other stuff, and then head back out. Alright, so this room. We're gonna be storing this spark so we can fly up there and fall back down to grab another thing. Looks like Monkey's setting up for later. I'll be placing a power bomb there, so we head down into this little maze so we can get more items. Alright. I believe there's a couple more items to get here before we head to the next sector. Indeed there is. Gonna hop down there, grab this power bomb, and then move on to Sector 5. There really isn't a lot in Sector 5. We just need to grab a couple things and head out. So they're gonna start. They're gonna open the door, store a spark, and then literally just fly through here. And there. I think there's 2 more stuff to get. Yep, there you go. There's the missile tank, and then there's another missile tank? Yeah, another missile tank over there. So jump through there to get it. Now we're on to Sector 6. There is a couple things to grab here. And some of them not so easy to get. Oh, that is... Or is it... Not terribly bad, though. We're gonna space through there. Grab those items. So pollsmor didn't quite get it either. I thought they're just intentionally doing this strat. So what they're going to do here is they're going to jump up but not store the spark, because there are 2 crumble blocks up there, and the way up leads to the nav room. And will just lead us back to Sector 1, which we already just cleared. We want to enter a nav room once we've cleaned up the area, and once we've reached the main deck. Because that nav room we use to trigger the missile event. We're gonna use that nav room, so we just hop up to the operations deck and clear the game. Oh, that was close. That would have been very bad for pollsmor if he did not get that. Like, it's not very bad, just inconvenient. Now, this power bomb. As I said before, some of these power-ups are not easy to get. This being one of them. Thankfully, the monkey he's able to get it. Let's see how well pollsmor can do. Oh, got it first try. That helps him catch up quite a bit. From there, it's on to Sector 4, which again is just a leisurely stroll. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's see if Pulse can get the puzzle. Ooh, nice. Oh, monkey. Monkey, oh no. There you go. It's kind of neck and neck. So now we're heading on to Sector 4, which again, just a leisurely stroll. Just gonna pass through and head on to Sector 2. Now Sector 2. Any missiles or items we didn't get, we're gonna get here, then we're gonna head to the main deck, grab one last power bomb, and that'll be the end of it. Alright, so this part of the run is we call Crumble City. That's why. A lot of the blocks here are crumble blocks, so you want to avoid touching them if you can. These are really close. So these rooms, some of them we couldn't get to them, some of them we just ignored for later. Very nice. Next, I think, is the one at Sasabi. That's unfortunate. But again, not the end of the world. fight. It is seriously close. Pollsmor gets it no problem. Oh, and gets the spark. Oh, but he lost it. And so did Monkey, unfortunately. Oh no! Monkey. We're gonna make our way through here, which will take us to the main deck. We go to this door just because it takes us higher. All that's left is to grab one power bomb, and that will be it. Alright, so this story event is basically Adam trying to get Samus to leave BSL, but Samus doesn't want to because the Federation's going to come and probably trigger the X to infect them, imitate them, and then cause them to spread through the universe. Samus is going to try and stop it, but Adam's going to seal her in. And after some talking, Adam is going to regain himself and allow Samus to destroy the facility along with SR-388. Alright. With everything cleared, everyone's going to make their way to the operations deck to trigger the Sax fight. The Sax fight has three phases. There's the Sax normal phase, where he's going to fight you in the power suit, the monster phase, which is going to hop around, and then the Core X phase. The Core X phase is going to take the longest. Pollsmor with really good Sax fight overall. Oh no, Monkey messed up. Yeah, I don't blame Monkey for missing that one. That diagonal shot is really tight timing. And Pollsmor with a very clean Sax fight.
Propulsion sequence activated. Destination planet SR-388.
Oof. He kind of messed up the spark there. Or the speed boost, not the spark. He didn't store a spark. Alright. So, coming up, there will come... Pulse and Monkey are trying to get the low height on this area, which allow them to just speed through the first area. Oh, that looks a little too high. Yep, too high. It's really tight timing to get that. Say hi to the Omega Metroid, everyone. Oh no, monkey.
2 minutes to destination.
Alright, now we have Ice Beam. And playing this right? Yep. Yep. I think Pulse is getting a new PB. Let's see though. It looks really close. No, it doesn't look like it. Nope. Just by 1 second. Or a couple seconds. Still really good though. Alright. I'm gonna see if anyone is down for an interview. pollsmor has denied an interview. Monkey, if you're responding in chat, please respond in Discord. Alright, both Monkey and pollsmor are denying interview. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this speedrun, and we will see you all for the next race.